Okay, Kexin, let's have a look at your AQ on heroes. Gloria Eastwick believes that heroes, spelling, inspire others to see possibilities. Good. Your AP is short, your author's point. Yeah, very concise. I agree with his statement. Okay. How do you know if Gloria Eastwick is a man or a woman? Yeah. Typically, sometimes some names are pretty obvious, okay? Like it's a lady or it's a man. Gloria is a lady's name. So her statement. If you're not sure, just say I agree with this statement. In my opinion, this statement is valid in my society. Okay, so this two, they are repetitive. Agree means it is valid. Singaporeans have a culture of following the latest trend. I think to frame it as Singapore characteristics, you could say in Singapore society where people are blinded by the latest trend, maybe. When someone does something impactful, people will treat him. We don't use will in GP, we use would. Treat him as a role model and follow his path. Okay, follow his path. Usually, path. For example, Singapore had always been okay up to this point, right? I still do not know how it okay, I guess I see the pattern here. You are saying that the leaders, heroes, they are leaders. Okay, they're the trendsetter. Okay, once we see someone does something, okay, we all follow, right? That is possible. Maybe then, agree with this statement. How is Singapore different from other countries? I don't think it's because we follow trend. Yeah, I think what you could say. Let's follow trend. Follow trend. Okay. Okay. I guess this part about following trend. We have a culture of following the latest trend. Maybe it's not about trend. Okay? Maybe it's about heroes. Okay? Following heroes. Following maybe Singapore, we are followers. Okay, it's quite hard to come up with this because of the difficulty in justifying this point. Yeah, but never mind. Later we'll come back to it. For example, Singapore had always been weak in the sports industry until 2016. Joseph Schooling won a gold medal in Olympics. Suddenly, everyone started to look upon him, and everyone started to think that he's a role model. Okay, so many Singaporeans treat him as a hero and as an example for hardworking and who are example of, okay, maybe we can use the word epitome, right? You learned this word recently, of people who are hardworking, and perseverance is a noun. Try to use the word steadfast. Or gritty. Gritty means they persevere. He enables Singaporeans to see possibilities in the sports industries. Yes, correct. When you gain motivation from him, which are inspired to join the sports industry. I think many teenagers are, which we use for an inanimate object. If you are referring to youth, okay, you will say who. But then if you use who are inspired to join the sports, who will refer to the word right in front of it, him. So it's not Joseph Schooling who's inspired. So you could say then, okay, Schooling motivated or inspired many youths who Schooling motivated many youths who are inspired to join the sports industry, okay? Something like that, to win competitions in the future. Sports industry. Sports is not an industry. In Singapore, industry will be like America, where NBA, NFL, they make a lot of money. In Singapore, sports doesn't make that much money. So I wouldn't say sports is an industry in Singapore. I mean, how often have you paid for tickets to watch sports? I think that the opinion of Gloria Weeks on heroes can inspire others is astute. Is the opinion is astute. Yeah, subject verb agreement error here. And it's applicable to my society. Okay, now let's go back to the context here. Context. Is it because we are followers? Okay. Think about Joseph's schooling. Why is it that when he won, we started to follow his footpath? I think the reason is that we have always been a very kiasu kiasi society. We don't dare to do certain things until someone has actually made the first move. So in this case, our context could be that in Singapore's culture where people are more risk averse, we don't dare to try different things. Okay, only when we have seen, okay, he has done it, okay, it's possible, okay, to pursue this as a career, then we start following it. So risk averse, that is the context here, rather than trend following. Trend following will be quite difficult for you to justify. Okay, so very well done, Kexin. I will say besides the context part, everything else is well done. One last thing, you might also want to add in the example, so what? Okay, example, so what? You could say this. Okay. Such instance lends credence to the argument that okay, heroes are able to break ourselves from our risk aversion. Perhaps heroes can break us or lift us, no, liberate us from our risk averse mentality or attitude. Okay, what you have here, this is your example. The example prove your point earlier. So what we are doing is just to link the bottom part to the top part here. Okay, that's it from me, Kexin. I'm gonna save this. Very good job.